Good afternoon and welcome to the latest issue of Print21, the weekly video news bulletin for the Australia and New Zealand print industry. This issue is sponsored by Ball & Doggett, Australia's largest supplier of printable materials and of press room consumables. The Ovato administrators are racing to sell the company. They are aiming to sell it as a whole, but are open to selling off parts of it if they can't manage it as a whole. The administrator has received a number of expressions of interest for the business, with serious bidders now going through the Ovato books. The company, or those entities in fact, have made expressions of interest in Ovato, had to let the administrator know by Friday. Print21 understands a number of expressions were received. The administrator is not saying who, of course, not saying who's in the fray, but the likely runners and riders are fairly clear. Although whether they will bid for all or just part of the business, which for catalogs for companies like big retailers, a major part of their business, they'd naturally prefer to sell it as a whole, but they may have to see it broken up. Ovato has heat set plants in Sydney, Brisbane, Perth, commercial operations in Auckland and Cairns, and runs a decent sized packaging operation from its Queensland headquarters, its Brisbane site. Once the potential bidders have been through the Ovato books, they've until next Thursday, 11th of August, to get their binding offers in. The administrators are looking for a buyer as soon as possible, they say. As they say, the sooner the business has a long-term owner, the better for all stakeholders. Well, the better it'll be for all stakeholders. The administrators said there's been excellent support from the customers, high street retailers, 60% of the business, and says it will continue to work with suppliers. Many suppliers have been COD actually for the past 18 months as part of the restructure deal that saw them take a 50% haircut on their outstanding invoices, and that's been part of the cash flow issue for Ovato. Print21, of course, will keep you informed of all developments as they happen. Meanwhile, some good news from Melbourne-based boutique printed wallpaper and signage business Grafico Group. Grafico has won the top award in the 2022 Lord Mayors of Melbourne, that is Small Business Awards. Grafico was founded in 2004 by Damon Corney, then a graphic designer, as part of a university project. The company has grown since and relocated twice, in fact, to larger premises now in North Melbourne, where it has expanded with the new digital print equipment, has a growing team and enhanced services. Congratulations to the team there. Grafico is also a sponsor of the Block TV show on Channel 9, which is of course driving much of the demand for custom printed and designed printed wall coverings, and of course Grafico is part of that world. Ball & Doggett is beefing up its presence in the sign and display market. It's acquired Conect Enterprises. Conect supplies a wide range of media, machinery and accessories to the market. Conect Enterprises was established in 1985 and was privately owned by Tony and Pam Coniglio. They'll stay with the business for a short transition period. Conect has offices and distribution sites in both New South Wales and Victoria. 35 staff. They'll all be staying with the business as it transfers over to Ball & Doggett's ownership. Also investing in print is the Opal Group, which is spending $140 million to build a new greenfield site in regional Victoria. It'll manufacture cardboard packaging. They'll pump out north of 160 million square meters of corrugated each year. The new plant will have 4 converting machines with integrated printing in them. A combination of BOPS, Flexo folder gluers and Gerfert rotary die cutters with inline printing. They'll be housed in the new facility that's now being built in Wodonga on the Victoria-New South Wales border. Opal, of course, is a major supplier of high-volume custom printed folding cartons to brands across Australia and across New Zealand. The company currently runs litho and flexo printing at its existing plants and has the country's first and only EFI Nozomi digital high-speed sheet-fed full-colour carton printing line. That's its Oakley plant. Opal isn't alone in building a new factory. With textile printing set to boom, EFI Reggiani has just broken ground on its new 20,000 square metre campus in Italy as it gears up for growth. The new building 400 solar panels supplying most of the energy in what EFI Reggiani says will be an environmentally sustainable factory. Staying in Europe, exhibitors from 32 countries have so far signed up for the next drupa, with the show set to run in less than 2 years' time. It'll resuming its 4-year cycle after what was the COVID-enforced break of 2020. and then 2021. The show is already more than halfway to reaching the 50 exhibitors from 54 countries that came to the last drupa, which in fact saw more than 1,800 exhibitors in total. Organiser says there's every indication it will again underline its position as the #1 event for printing technologies. The next drupa, for those with long-range diaries, will be 28th of May to 7th of June 2024 at its usual home, the Messe Centre Dusseldorf Exhibition Centre, an 11-day event, slimmed down version of the usual 15 days. Last event in 2016 attracted 250,000 printers. That's it for this week's Play Print21. For all these stories in full and more, go to print21.com.au, where we'll keep you completely up to date with all the developments of Ovato as it goes along. Thanks to our sponsor Ball & Doggett, Australia's largest supplier of printable materials and press room consumables. This is Wayne Robinson, editor of Print21, outside a typical catalogue customer, signing off for another week.